She doesn't start missing you when you call her every day, when you chase her, or when you keep reminding her of your presence. She starts missing you when your silence becomes louder than any words you could ever say. Silence is powerful because it shifts the energy completely. In the beginning, she may feel confident that you'll always be there, waiting for her call, ready to respond to her messages, and eager to prove your love. But when you stop feeding that pattern, when you no longer reach out or make yourself available at her convenience, something changes. She begins to notice the emptiness where your presence used to be. At first, she may not think much of it. She might assume you'll break the silence eventually, that you'll cave and show up the way you always did. But as days turn into weeks, she starts to realize you're not chasing anymore. That silence grows heavier because it forces her to confront the truth. She no longer has the same control over your attention. The texts that used to flood in are gone. The late night calls she could rely on aren't there anymore. That absence is uncomfortable and it makes her think about you more than if you were still chasing. Silence works because it flips the dynamic. When you're constantly reaching out, she doesn't get the space to miss you. She doesn't feel the contrast between life with you and life without you. But when you step back and give her nothing, no energy, no updates, no reassurance, she feels the void. And in that void, the memories you created together start creeping back. She remembers your voice, your touch, the way you made her feel safe or valued. She remembers the little things she didn't even notice when she had them. It's in that quiet space that missing you becomes real. Because missing someone isn't about what they say today, it's about what you notice when they're no longer around. Your silence forces her to see the difference between you and everyone else she encounters. She may talk to other people, she may distract herself, but none of it fills the gap. None of it feels the same as what she lost. And the most important part is that your silence isn't about manipulation. It's not about playing games or trying to punish her. It's about respecting yourself enough to stop pouring energy into someone who didn't value it. When you hold your silence with confidence, you communicate strength. You show that you don't need her attention to validate you, and that message is louder than any words you could ever speak. That's when she starts missing you for real, when your silence becomes undeniable proof that you've taken back your power. She doesn't begin to miss you the moment she walks away. At first, she feels confident, even certain, that she can find what she's looking for somewhere else. Maybe she thinks there are better options, more exciting connections, or people who can give her something new. But over time, the comparisons begin, and this is when the reality sets in. She starts interacting with others, expecting the same level of loyalty, the same energy, the same depth you once gave her. And one by one, those expectations fall short. That's when she begins to realize no one else measures up. When you gave her your time, your care, and your attention, it might have felt ordinary to her. People often take consistency for granted because they're so used to it being there. But once it's gone, once she experiences the lack of it with someone new, she begins to notice a difference. That's when her mind starts drifting back to you. She remembers how you listened, how you made her feel special, how you were there in ways most people aren't. And even if she doesn't admit it out loud, she begins to feel the weight of losing that. The truth is, not everyone is built to give at the same level you did. Not everyone is patient enough, strong enough, or genuine enough to handle someone with care. When she faces that reality, when she realizes that others fall short of the standard you set, she begins to feel regret. That regret slowly transforms into missing you because she understands she can't recreate what you gave her with just anyone. Missing you in this way is different because it isn't based on loneliness or temporary emotions. It's based on direct comparison. The more she tries to find what you gave her in someone else, the more she comes up empty-handed. And every failed attempt strengthens the memory of you. She begins to remember the little things you did without asking for anything in return. She remembers the security of knowing you cared. She remembers the way your energy filled a room and gave her comfort she didn't even realize she needed. It's often said that people don't know what they have until it's gone, and that couldn't be more true here. She didn't appreciate your consistency when she had it, but the moment she experiences inconsistency, she sees the difference. She didn't value your loyalty when you were present, but when she faces people who aren't loyal, she sees your worth. And in that moment of recognition, she doesn't just think about you, she feels your absence deeply. This is when she truly starts to miss you, not because she can't find anyone, but because she realizes that not everyone can replace the kind of man you are. She really starts missing you when she sees you thriving without her. At first, when she walks away or chooses to hurt you, she might believe you'll be stuck in the same place, broken, waiting, or unable to move forward. That belief gives her a sense of control because in her mind, you're still tied to her, even if she's not around. But when time passes and she notices that instead of falling apart, she's risen stronger, happier, and more confident, it shakes her entire perspective. Nothing makes someone miss you more than seeing that you didn't just survive without them, you grew. Growth is magnetic. When you're smiling, building, and living with purpose, your energy changes. People feel that shift, and she will notice it, whether directly or through others. Maybe she sees you posting pictures with confidence. Maybe she hears about your achievements, or maybe she simply senses that you're no longer carrying the same weight of pain she expected you to hold on to. That realization hits hard because it shows her that she isn't the center of your world anymore. The power she once had over you is gone, replaced with a version of you she can't control, a version that is thriving. Thriving doesn't only mean financial success or external accomplishments, though those matter. Thriving means you've chosen to invest in yourself. It means you're working on your body, your mindset, your relationships, and your happiness. It means that instead of waiting for her to come back, you've moved forward with determination and focus. That kind of energy is rare, and when she sees it, she starts to feel the loss on a deeper level because now she's confronted with the reality that you've become someone even better than the man she left behind. This is where the regret truly starts to turn into missing you. She begins to wonder what it would feel like to be next to this stronger, more confident version of you. She compares the man she remembers with the man you've become, and it makes her realize how much she underestimated your potential. What once looked like the end of the story for you has now turned into the beginning of a new chapter, and that contrast makes her long for what she no longer has access to. The most powerful part of this is that you didn't grow to make her jealous, and you didn't thrive to win her back. You did it because you value yourself enough to move on and build your life, regardless of who stayed or who left. That authenticity makes your progress even more attractive because it's not rooted in neediness. It's rooted in strength. And when she feels that strength, when she sees your joy and success, she starts to miss you for real because she knows she no longer has a place in the life you built without her. She begins to miss you for real when her ego no longer feeds on your attention. As long as you're chasing, texting first, constantly checking in, or making her feel like she's the center of your world, she doesn't feel your absence. In fact, your attention acts like fuel to her ego. Even if she hurt you or walked away, as long as you continue to give her that validation, she still feels powerful. But the moment you stop feeding that cycle, the moment your attention dries up and your focus shifts back to yourself, that's when she starts to feel the emptiness, and it's in that emptiness that she realizes she misses you. Attention is addictive. The way you used to look at her, the way you cared, the way you showed her she mattered, all of that became part of what kept her ego alive. When you remove it, she feels the drop immediately. Even if she pretends she doesn't, she may act like she's fine. She may even distract herself with other people, but deep down, she notices the silence. Where she once felt constant validation, she now feels a void. And that void stings because it makes her realize how much of her confidence was tied to the way you saw her. This is where missing you becomes real. Not because you're gone, but because she no longer has access to the part of you that always reassured her. When you detach and stop giving away your energy, she's forced to rely on herself for validation. And for someone who's used to feeding on your constant attention, that can be unsettling. It creates a shift where she begins to think about you not just as someone who cared for her, but as someone whose absence now makes her uncomfortable. The truth is, your attention has value. It's not free. It's not something to hand out endlessly to someone who hurt you or took you for granted. The moment you realize that and you start treating your energy as something precious, the dynamic changes completely. You go from being predictable to being mysterious. You go from being easily accessible to being scarce. And nothing creates longing like scarcity. She may test you at this point, sending small messages, trying to spark a reaction, or doing little things to see if she still has your attention. But if you stay centered, if you refuse to give her the easy validation she once thrived on, she'll feel the shift even more. That's when the missing deepens, because now she's not only reminded of the attention you used to give, but she realizes she no longer has it. That's the moment she starts missing you for real. Not because of the words you say, but because of the silence you hold and the strength you show when her ego no longer controls you. She truly starts missing you when time exposes the truth of her choices. In the beginning, walking away may feel easy for her. The excitement of something new, the distraction of fresh attention, or the belief that she can do better can blind her to what she's actually losing. In those early moments, she convinces herself she made the right decision, that she's free, that the grass is greener on the other side. But time has a way of stripping away illusions, and the longer she's gone, the clearer she begins to see. That's when missing you starts to hit her in ways she didn't expect. At first, the thrill of leaving might feel empowering to her. She thinks she can replace you quickly, that someone else will fill the role you once played in her life. But as the weeks or months pass, she starts to notice the cracks. The new people she meets don't treat her with the same consistency you did. The excitement she felt in the beginning begins to fade, replaced with the emptiness of shallow connection. And slowly she starts remembering the stability, the care, and the effort you gave her. Time reveals that what she thought was better was just temporary, and what she had with you was something real. This realization doesn't happen overnight. It comes in small, quiet moments. Maybe she hears a song that reminds her of you. Maybe she sees a couple out in public and remembers how you once held her. Maybe she lies awake at night replaying the memories she tried to bury. And with each passing moment, the illusion that she's better off without you begins to crumble. That's when the missing deepens, because time has forced her to confront what she's lost. Time is the ultimate teacher. It exposes what people couldn't see clearly in the heat of the moment. While she thought leaving was freedom, time shows her it was just an escape. While she thought she could find someone better, time shows her that not everyone is capable of giving what you gave. While she believed you would always be an option, time shows her you've moved forward, and the door she once left open may no longer be there. And this is where the missing becomes real. It's not just about longing for your presence. It's about regret for the choices she made. It's about wishing she could go back and do things differently. It's about realizing that the temporary highs she chased weren't worth losing the depth of what she once had with you. The beauty of this truth is that time works in your favor when you focus on yourself. By stepping back, by refusing to chase, by choosing to grow, you give time the space to do its work. And when it does, she starts missing you in a way that feels unavoidable, because the reality she once ignored is now undeniable. She starts missing you for real when she feels the fear of being replaced. Nothing shakes someone more than realizing they're no longer the center of your world, that the place they once held in your life is now open for someone else to take. As long as she believes you're still waiting, still holding on, still keeping her memory alive, she feels comfortable. Even if she's not with you, that comfort gives her a false sense of security. But when she sees signs that you've moved on, when she notices you giving your energy to yourself or perhaps even to someone new, that's when the fear strikes, and with it comes the longing. Fear of replacement hits deep because it forces her to confront a truth she doesn't want to face. You don't need her to be happy. She may have convinced herself that she was irreplaceable, that no one else could fill the space she left behind. But when your actions prove otherwise, when your silence is paired with progress and confidence, she realizes that her assumption was wrong. And that realization stings more than anything else, because it tells her that you're capable of giving another woman the love, loyalty, and energy she once had. It's not always about jealousy of the new person. Sometimes it's the simple knowledge that she's no longer in control. She misses you because she doesn't want someone else to have what she lost. She begins to replay memories, compare herself to potential replacements, and wonder if she'll be forgotten. And that fear of being erased from your life creates an urgency inside her. It makes her want to come back, not necessarily because she's changed, but because she doesn't want to lose the privilege of being remembered. This is why moving on is so powerful. When you stop waiting and start living, when you show that your happiness doesn't depend on her, it flips the entire dynamic. Instead of you fearing that she'll never come back, she begins to fear that you'll never look back. That shift makes her miss you more than any words, gifts, or gestures ever could. Because in her mind, nothing is more painful than imagining another woman in her place, receiving the parts of you she once took for granted. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. Fear of replacement doesn't mean love. Her missing you at this stage may be more about her ego than her heart. That's why it's important to stay grounded and remember that her fear is hers to deal with. What matters most is that you've built a life that's too full, too strong, and too valuable to be shaken by her return. And it's in that strength that she truly starts missing you for real because she knows the spot she once had in your life may be gone forever.